party member, are you in agreement with the decision to build it? What do you make of the various controversies? And what do you make of the latest statement from the fund minister, who believes that the conversation around the cathedral is not really fair because this is something with huge potential in terms of revenue? What do you make of all of those?
Let me say good morning again to you and to all your cherished listeners who are taking some time off this morning to listen to us. Let me say good morning to the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Vice President and the de facto leader of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and the Majority Leader, Honorable Chairman Sabunsu. Let me say good morning to everybody who is taking time to listen to us this morning. Concerning the National Cathedral, the burden of the National Cathedral. As a party, we made a pledge to build the National Cathedral in honor of...
Are you sure it was a party's pledge?
The President's decision is an executive instrument, and per the Constitution of Ghana, when the President speaks, it is Ghanaians that are speaking.
No, but this promise was his promise to God.
Are you listening to me?
I'm listening. I'm asking you a question because
the Constitution, you said it is his promise, and that is what I am saying.
In his personal capacity,
per the Constitution of the Republic, when the President speaks, it is an executive instrument.
Which portion of the Constitution says that?
I cannot give it to you. I don't have the Constitution here. But there are three...
I will have read it so that all of us...
There are three constitutional instruments that we have. We have the legislative instrument, we have the executive instrument, and we have the constitutional instrument. That's the CI, we have the EI, and we have
What is an instrument, by the way?
Sorry.
An instrument, exactly.
Yeah. Because the president's...
Is it anything the president says personally that becomes an instrument, or something the executive has prepared?
That's why the president doesn't have to speak at all times. When the president speaks...
So when the president goes on a campaign and says that as a country we will do this, we will do that, it becomes an executive instrument.
Listen to me. We are not...
No, I want to know because you just said that.
You are diverting the conversation.
Please speak into that.
You are diverting the conversation.
No, I'm asking you a question.
What I am saying is, when the president speaks, when he speaks in his capacity as the president, it is an executive instrument.
What about when he speaks in his capacity as Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo?
Where is he, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? He is now the current president of the Republic of Ghana.
So he doesn't have a personality.
No,
everything he does
that's why you have the capacity to discuss him. If it is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
we are discussing him because he's using our money. If he had used his money, we would already have.
That is why you have the capacity to call him a thief.
Nobody has called him a thief.
I was sitting here listening.
Nobody has called him.
I was sitting here listening.
I didn't call him a thief. Nobody has called him a thief.
I've been here listening to you.
At what point?
So the point is, when the president speaks, it's an executive instrument. That is why when the
president speaks as president or as an individual.
Master, once the president is...
My name is Alpha.
Alpha.
My name is.
Once the president swears an oath to become the president of the Republic, from there, he does not have a private life again. He is the president of the Republic.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He doesn't have a private life.
Even where he stays.
No, he does things in his private capacity.
It doesn't have to come to the public domain. When it's come to the public domain, he will regret doing it. Okay? Even where he sleeps, the state have to take care. If you have to move, the state protocol will direct to Mr. President, you can't go here.
When he takes his salary as president and decides to give me 1 million Ghana cedis, nobody can challenge him on that. You know that.
That is his salary. And
no, I'm saying that you said whatever he does.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give you an example of what he can do in his personal capacity.
That is his salary. But what I am telling you is, you do it in privacy. Don't bring it to the public domain. Because if you come to the public domain, you cannot say, I have private life. That is in public domain. So when you are a president and there's an issue in court, you don't open up your mouth and say it. People will take you on. They will say, you are the president, you shouldn't have said it. That's why when there was a case in court...
He has been saying so.
Yeah, and then people took him on. That he's the president. That amounts to an influence on the church.
So that was wrong on his capacity?
Maybe. People said it.
Do you think it was wrong?
We are not discussing that.
No,
this morning.
you just said, and I'll give on the basis of the example you said. Would that be
No,
wrong?
I'm not discussing that this morning.
You're not discussing that. So what are you discussing? Let's say.
We are discussing the cathedral, National Cathedral.
Okay.
This
So
morning.
what do you make of it?
So all I'm saying is, when the president has spoken that he's going to build the National Cathedral in honor of God, yes, in making that promise, he made another promise that the nation is going to provide seed money for the National Cathedral because he's the president. Yes, he has the right to say that. Upon starting the project, there are a lot of controversies that have surrounded the whole show. What I see in this country is we only fish out the problems in anything in order to bring it down. We don't look at the possibilities and the positive things that is associated with anything that we do in this country.
So the citizens are just looking for the negatives.
I'm a citizen. What are you?
No, I'm asking.
Some of them.
So I wanted you to be clear.
That reference of people speaking and making it Ghanaians. It is your opinion. It's not Ghanaians' opinion.
No, but Ghanaians are the ones.
I am also a Ghanaian.
Which
the president,
Ghanaians are you?
The president is a Ghanaian.
So who are you referring to?
There are people. I mean, when you are on radio or when you are having a discussion, conversation, when you are having a thought on certain particular things, say I am saying. Don't say Ghanaians. It is not the Ghanaians' opinion. It is your personal opinion.
So the people you say are just interested in negativity. Who are you referring to?
I said most Ghanaians are interested in the
most Ghanaians, majority of Ghanaians.
That has been my observation.
Oh, okay.
That when things
majority of Ghanaians are just interested in negativity.
But sometimes when things come up, and you listen to the conversation and you hear all manner of things, sometimes what the person is saying may not be true. What the person is just speaking out of emotions and everything. But yeah, that's people's opinion and that.
So what do you think has been said about National Cathedral that is not true? That is just out of emotions?
Are we? But I thought you asked me about the National Cathedral, so that we.
No, but the question is about National Cathedral. You didn't
yeah, so let me go on with the
so I thought
Cathedral.
you said the way you said, like I'm asking you a different question. I'm still.
But you gave me a topic at least.
Okay, so I'm listening.
So the National Cathedral. As a project, me as a person, having traveled around the world, having been to Indonesia, having been to Thailand, having been to the UK, Italy, and Germany, I've had a lot of cathedrals and basilicas. I've had a lot of monuments from the Buddhists and these things that I know are very, 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 very good for the nation when it comes to tourism. So when you want me to discuss it from that perspective, I'm a different person altogether. I'm thinking about what we will get. A typical example of such is when Nkrumah Museum was first. It was generating less than. They say it was generating less than 60,000 in a year, and now it is generating even more than 60,000 in a day, in a week. And so the renovation of the Nkrumah Museum alone is also another factor that. When you do something positive for the nation, it is capable of generating a lot of resources for the nation. So the controversy about the National Cathedral is raging on. But I think as a nation, there are positive aspects of it and there are negative aspects of it. We say the child shouldn't go to the priest. He's gone there already, and he's been bitten by the snake. What do? You leave the child to die? Now the cathedral has been started. You said some buildings were destroyed. So many things were done before the cathedral got started. And now that we are complaining that the cathedral shouldn't be built, is that bringing the buildings that were destroyed back? What will we gain from leaving it blank? So all those things are the things that we have to take into consideration in deciding whether to continue the project or not to continue the project. It's not only about thinking about the effects of the project or how difficult is it for the ordinary Ghanaian. It has always been difficult, but things have been built.
Do you think it was necessary that we build a national cathedral?
I told you, having traveled around the world, having been to Indonesia,
having stayed in the Ghanaian context.
Having stayed in Thailand, having stayed in Italy, I know what religious tourism brings on board to the economy of these countries. So when you ask me whether it was necessary or it was not necessary, I would say it was necessary.
Oh, it was necessary.
Yeah, it was necessary in a way. But you do things for people in order to promote their welfare and their interests. And if the people you are doing it for says, well, we don't need it, what do you do? Maybe.
So do you think the government should have listened to the concerns of the people first? Should seek from them? Do you want us to build you a national
I think the concern of the people has risen from controversy that people have deliberately decided to raise.
Deliberately?
Yes, deliberately. Oh. Some of them are deliberate. That people have deliberately decided to raise against the project
to make the policy look bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the concerns that people are talking about. Some of them are very legitimate.
Do you think we should stop?
I don't think.
We should continue with it.
Personally, because when you stop, the buildings that you destroy will not come back.
So we should go ahead with it. But I think money is our challenge now. I don't know if you have money to.
And the project.
Because you know that Kumasi Airport has been stalled because of money.
Kumasi Airport.
Konfanochi maternity ward.
All those things were
phase 2.
All those things were not even constructed, but we paid the National Theatre. All those things were not constructed. We got some place to bury some people.
No, but I'm saying that these projects have been stalled because of lack of money. So do you think we can still have money to continue?
We have initiated some group that is sourcing funds elsewhere
to complete
the project.
Do you think it will be completed at the end of the tenure of President?
It's not mandatory. It has to be completed at the end.
Okay, so that the next government will come and
continue. It is now a national project.
So the next government
whoever comes may want to continue it. There are so many projects that have been stored, and if that is stored, it's nothing. There are a lot of controls that are raising out of that.
Okay, let me go to your colleague Derek Cosby. He's the member of the NDC communications team in the Ashanti region. I'm sure you've heard what the finance minister has said about the National Cathedral. He believes that the conversation surrounding it is not really justifiable, it's not really fair, because this is a project with huge potential in terms of revenue generation. What do you make of his latest statement and the whole issue about the National Cathedral?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Sorry for being late. I think there was a lot of traffic on the road, so I think next time I have to set off early. Okay, so with regards to the National Cathedral, what I would say is that the MPP as a party and as a government have been very deceitful to the good people of Ghana. You know why? First of all, when they were contesting for the national elections, President Kufuor and his apprentice, Bawumia, told Ghanaians.
He's not his apprentice.
Oh, that's his vice president.
That's a correct.
No.
Let's use the correct.
Okay, so what's the meaning of apprentice? Apprentice means someone who's under training.
I don't want to.
Someone who's under training.
He's his running mate.
Oh no,
he's running mate.
But he's someone who's
vice
president. Very well. Fine. So the running mate and the vice president of Ghana, that's Dr. Bawumia, and his boss, the president, that's President Kufuor. They deceive Ghanaians by using the word, because they know that Ghanaians have a mentality of religion. Now, whatever is about religion, we believe it is good. So when they were coming to power, this is what they said. They said, oh, the battle is the Lord's. So in their rally and during their campaign, they will play Christian songs, bring gospel artists to convince people that they are from God and we, the NDC, we are from Satan. That was the impression they were creating. So everywhere you see, oh, the battle is the Lord, the battle is the Lord's, the battle is the Lord's. Now, from this same deception, when the president won power and came to office as the president of the nation, what did he do? He told us, after winning power, he told us that he made a personal pledge to God to build a cathedral. And so he's not going to use state funds. That's what he said to us. That's why he even told the board, the clergymen, the reputable clergymen, the president told them, we are not going to use state funds. We are going to mobilize funds from individuals and other organizations who will have to contribute for a cathedral to be built. Lo and behold, this thing went to Parliament, and we saw in the budget National Cathedral. And then our gallant members of Parliament, the NDC, we raised a question that why is it that in your initial promise or in your statement as a president, you indicated that this is not going to be used, you're not going to use public funds to fund the cathedral. But now, in the budget, it has been stated that we are going to use public funds to fund the cathedral. Now, because at the time they had the numbers in Parliament, they were able to push it through, and then this deal went through. can you believe a party or a government, upon all the needs that Ghanaians want, upon all the priorities, they chose a cathedral over building a hospital?
Because they believe this will become a tourist center.
No.
With the possibility of raising huge revenue. For instance, if you look at the estimation of the finance minister, he says that they expect 600 people paying pilgrimage or visiting the cathedral.
Were we not in the same country?
With each of them spending not less than $3,000.
Were we not in the same country that when the same finance minister told us that we are going to generate enough revenue from e-levy and that we will not go to IMF, we will not go to IMF today, and we will not go to IMF tomorrow? What happened at the end? At the end of the day, the e-levy didn't give them the revenue that they anticipated to get. And we advised them that the e-levy is not going to help you. Go to the IMF to seek a bailout. And this government, they do not listen because...
So you can't believe their estimation?
Never. Who's going to believe them? Because already they know they are a failed government. They failed Ghanaians to a level that they are, upon all priorities, they consider a cathedral over building a hospital.
Do you think the cathedral is a bad thing, or it is not needed at this point in time?
It is not needed at all. As a developing country, whereby we have other needs such as schools, we have roads, we have bad hospitals, we have a whole lot of things to attend to. And you have this chunk enough of amount of money to push into a national cathedral. They estimated even about $400 million to be used to build this cathedral, of which about $70 million have been spent already. When you go to Accra and you go and see the project, it's a pit. That's the biggest pit in Africa at the moment. A pit that has not even gotten to a foundation level, that will not even raise any structure on it. You spend this funds, and at the end of the day, instead of you to give Ghanaians the maximum respect that we deserve, you come out and tell us that, the cathedral will help us to generate more revenue, be a tourist site, and Ghana will be like a Jerusalem. Has the finance minister been to Jerusalem before?
Maybe.
If he has been to Jerusalem before, then he should tell us the state of Jerusalem's economy and tell us the state of Ghana's economy. How many cathedrals
But you realize that we can't wait to build all of these infrastructure, schools, hospitals.
So then you consider priorities. So my brother from the NPP here should tell us that the NPP, their major priority is to build a cathedral, but not to build a hospital. They should tell us. So between the two, a cathedral and a hospital, which one is the biggest priority? They believe it's the hospital. A developing country that you don't have hospitals, since their inception as a government, they have never built and completed a single hospital. From Kofo's time to date, the NPP has never ever built a university. They have never ever built a university. And you are here prioritizing a cathedral, spending this chunk in amount of money into a cathedral. This kind of disrespect from the government is too much, and it's getting too much to extend that Ghanaians and all the clergies must rise up to save their integrity. Now, you see, during the resignation, who resigned first? That was the Attorney General. Do you know why? Because he knows that this cathedral will, at the end of the day, lead to a court, or will lead to an injunction, or lead to, let's say, a prosecution by the next government because of the reckless spending of the state resources. So
now, the
AG resigned,
this government,
as secretary, one, before even the clergies all resigned. Some of the clergies resigned, about 4 of them resigned.
Mr. Cosby, now government has spent huge sums of money in its course to build the National Cathedral. Huge sums of money has been spent so far. Don't you think it will be wrong, or don't you think it will be fair for any government outcome, whether the same party forming the next government or another party, to continue with it so that the nation will not suffer? Because then if we decide not to continue, that means we've wasted huge sums of money.
I get you. God willing, from 2025, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is sworn in, and Ghanaians giving him the verdict to come and implement his good policies such as the 24-hour economy, the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has said categorically that he will never ever.
So the pit will remain there.
Do you know why? We will prosecute people for them to refund the state's money that they have used.
You know why? Fill the pit or something.
Do you know why? Because now they've estimated about 400 million. They spent about $70 million. If you're talking about dollars, so not Ghana cedis, so 58. Even at the time it was 58. So even now. Because all what we are dealing in dollars now.
Yes.
So dollars, it will definitely be converted to the currency. That's the exchange rate. That's 12 Ghana cedis. And we've not even added the facility that they even collapsed. they destroyed facilities such as the Square Secretariat, such as the Passport Office, the other private institutions, organizations, to the extent that even the judges' bungalow were all destroyed, simply because they wanted to build a president's from his personal pledge to God that he wants to build a cathedral.
Let me take some rebuttals from your other
in conclusion, once I want to land on this, I want to say that the NDC, we will never ever support this cathedral, and when God willing, Ghanaians give us the mandate in 2024 and bring back His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
That people will rely on that and vote against you?
No.
Religious people in this
because even the same religious people are resigning. Remember, His Honour has resigned, Duncan William has resigned, Daki Ward Mills has resigned, and other clergies, they've all resigned, indicating that they are not in support of this corrupt scandal called a cathedral. This is never a cathedral. It's a corrupt scandal from the MPP.
Let me tell my brother, your name Cosby, that the resignation of the religious leaders who were on the board of the National Cathedral is in no way a justification to tell that they are not in support of the building of the National Cathedral. Most of them have resigned as a case to Okujeto Abraka. The last three who resigned.
Is the reason why
they gave a reason.
That is the reason why the reasons are that we can pull it.
You can bring it out.
Okay.
They wrote a letter in the first place in January to the board that they should do a public hearing of it, because they think what is going on in the public domain is not true. It is tarnishing their image. Why do you think they are not doing that? So Okujeto Abraka and his school are deliberately destroying their image. So the board should do something about it. Or else they are just taking off their hands from the National Cathedral. It's not because they are doing anything bad. It's not because they are not in support of those things. It is because they want to protect their integrity, because some men of Satan have decided to rise up.
No.
What they are doing.
Who are these men of Satan?
That is why.
Who are these men of Satan?
So the board chairman of the National Cathedral, in response to that, their statement said that they are men of God, and they should not be afraid of tribulations when they are coming from elsewhere. So as long as they are doing the right thing, he believed the people should.
But some of them raised issue of lack of transparency.
They said they did not. You can pull out their reason. The letter, the first letter in January, and the second one.
We'll do that.
Okay. So those are the reasons why they stayed away from. They are choosing to stay away from the project. It's not because they are not in support. Let that be clear to everybody.
Okay.
And the second one, he said that we have.
Now let me read some of the reasons why they resigned. Especially looking at the latest resignation. They are
not the resignation alone. They wrote their reasons in this thing to them in January.
No, you said the resignation was because of.
There were two letters for the resignation. One was written in January, and the second was in July.
I'm giving you the reason they stated for their resignation. They said that in a statement signed by both Archbishop Duncan Williams and Reverend Anaba, they explained that the decision to resign was due to the failure of the government to appoint an independent accounting firm to audit all public funds contributed to the National Cathedral project.
So that is why I'm saying that they had already, in January, they had written a letter that they should give them that independence, these things, so that people will know that they are not being followed.
They felt that the finances surrounding the National Cathedral was not very transparent, and they needed to be sure in their mind. After a renowned company has audited the account. For which reason it was not done. They felt that they needed to resign.
Can you let me come? I said 2 letters were written, even 3. The first was in January, when they wrote a letter to the board asking for an independent inquiry into their doing the finances of the National Cathedral, because they think that the noise outside the whole issue contradicts what they do. So they want to protect their integrity.
So they wanted an independent audit.
It is in that the board of the National Cathedral appointed Delight and Touch. I think they are not Delight and Touch anymore. I think they've changed their name. Appointed them as an independent organization to work on that. While doing that, that is when they said in July they said they are withdrawing because they think the reason they wrote to the board members in January has not been fulfilled. And the board also wrote a letter after their resignation. I hope you have that letter there. That the inquiry that they were looking for was in process. Okay. And they believe the people could have waited for the people to complete. But they think their names were being tarnished whilst they were not involved in what was going on outside the building of the cathedral. Because everybody thinks they are stealing money there. Everybody thinks they are misusing state funds, and all these kind of allegations are going around. So the two had clear conscience that they are not doing that. So let whoever who want to come from outside to come and investigate us. Okay. So they did not resign because they were not in support of the building of the cathedral.
Nobody has said that, because if they were not in support, they wouldn't have joined the board in the first place.
Okay. They were talking about setting the priorities right.
Please, in a minute. So that
in a minute, because we came late. He was talking about setting your priorities right.
Do we really need national
we didn't need that. We didn't need that. Let us assume without admitting that we didn't need that.
Okay.
At the time, the former president himself, John Mahama, was unable to complete the Kumasi airport, just starting the phase 1. They had $20 million to build the party office of NDC. Was it the priority of Ghanaians?
From state funds?
Whatever. Where did they get the money?
No, but it's important. If it's not from state funds, that's not
the National Cathedral, as you speak now, Alpha. We have set up a commission to look for funding from elsewhere.
But we allocated state funds for the building of National Cathedral. So that is why we are talking about
the $20 million. Up to today, the NDC has not accounted for it. They were party in government.
But do we know if it is from state funds?
I thought they stole it from us.
They stole it?
Yes. I thought of course we can give us the account, the credit.
Do you have evidence? Because saying they've stolen it, it's a very strong description. You must have evidence to come to the conclusion.
They stole money from our government.
From which quarters?
And I think even if it is their own money, let's assume it is their own money.
They should have used it to build hospitals.
Yes, because there were hospitals that people were dying, that you know. Okay. And you used $20 million to build the party office. Okay. That was your priority then.
Okay.
That $20 million, as we speak today, is not bringing Ghana any resources. Okay,
so they should have used it to build the hospital.
But if it has been used to build the National Cathedral, there were going to be a return on investment. At least that would have been a positive venture.
So, in 2 minutes, let me hear.
Thank you, Alpha. You know, my brother from the MPP couldn't give a single source of where he claims that the board of some of the board of trustees' resignation was based on Okudjeto's comments or his expose.
So that was his interpretation of the
yes, but he couldn't give us a single source. But so I'm very glad that you were able to quote even from online, because I'm even checking from Graphic Online, and he's telling us this exactly the same thing that he said, that they resigned. The recent board of trustees, that's Archbishop Duncan Williams and then his Reverend Isu Anaba, they resigned on the basis of lack of transparency from the government, that they are requesting for an independent audit firm to be appointed.
From the board or the government?
Who appointed the board? It's not the government. So what,
for them, they said government.
So it's the government.
Let him, when you're speaking, let him make his point. When he's done, I'll come to you. No, when he's done, I'll come to you.
I allowed you.
When he's done, I'll come to you.
I allowed you to talk.
Yes.
So they stated categorically in their statement that because there is lack of transparency from the government with regards to National Cathedral, they needed, an independent audit firm to come and audit all the spendings of this National Cathedral.
But he's telling you that the board also told them that they should have relaxed. If they had waited,
so listen,
because they have activated the process.
They said they sent this request at the beginning of this year. Yeah. To date, we are in our 12 months. To date.
Make your point.
To date, they have not even released or even given any audit firm or even assigned any audit firm through procurement process to come and audit the gargantuan spending that they have done or they have expended on this National Cathedral. Now, these people even resigned earlier September to October. So now, we've not even had any report from any audit firm. So are these people a serious government who want to even account to the good people of Ghana? They are not. They are only interested in spending our money on dubious projects where they can get money to give to their cronies.
Okay, let's go to the next subject because of time. Let's deal with Galamsey. You guys have been criticizing this government for their lackluster attitude in the fight against illegal mining. But to be fair, yesterday, due to the tenacity and the commitment of the Attorney General, Aisha One, who is known to be a Galamsey queenpin, has finally been convicted. And the Attorney General seems not to be even satisfied. He said he's even appealing for a lot more punishment to be meted out to her. We should commend the government for this prosecution, shouldn't we? I'm starting from you.
Okay, thank you, Alpha. For us to commend the government for this prosecution, it's not based on NDC, it's based on public opinion. So what was the public opinion after the ruling of the court? The public indicated that they are not satisfied with the 4 years, 6 months jail term given
At least it's a good start.
Given to Aisha One. I'm coming. The reason why it's not a good start is that this government can never be trusted in any way. You know why? First of all, we have a president who told us that he's putting his presidency on the line. When you journalists, because of your personal investigation that you've done on Galamsey, you realize that you need to fight Galamsey. So you journalists started the fight against Galamsey. And this government said, okay, fine, since you guys have started, then let me also join hands so that hand to hand we will solve this problem. When they came on board, what the president said, you told us that he's putting his presidency on the line and that anyone who has engaged in Galamsey, that person will be prosecuted. This same Aisha One was arrested way back around 2018, where we have the senior minister then, Honorable Yaw Osafo Mafo, came out and told Ghanaians that Aisha One cannot be prosecuted because Ghana needs loan from China to help us build some infrastructures in this country. So because of that, a Chinese can come to Ghana, destroy our water bodies, mine, and then destroy our water bodies and destroy lives and go scot-free. And so what did they do? They deported Aisha One. This was the explanation from the the senior minister then, Honorable Yaw Osafo Mafo, that they are not going to prosecute Aisha One because Ghana is begging for loan from China, so they can come and destroy us and go. Lo and behold, this same Aisha One came back, and then he was in this country doing illegal activities. This same MPP government, through some good people or good citizens of this country, reported for her to be arrested. She was arrested, and then what did they tell us? They told us that now Aisha One has been arrested, but they need to investigate this issue. After the investigation, what happened? They are saying they are giving Aisha One 4 years, 6 months from the court.
It is not they, it is the judges.
Yes, but it's based on your pleadings or it's based on the issue that you sent to the court.
Yes.
The Deputy Attorney General told us yesterday, when you guys interviewed him, he told us that they are certified with the ruling of the court.
Because she was prosecuted under...
Yes, because she was prosecuted under the previous law. A previous act which has been repealed, that's the Act 900 which has been repealed. He was prosecuted under that act. And so they knew that when they were coming to court, they knew that the maximum sentence that they could get for Aisha One was 5 years. And then this same Deputy Attorney General, the same government, now his main boss, that's the Attorney General himself, comes out today and tells us that he is not satisfied with the ruling. Now your deputy says he's satisfied. Now your boss says he's not satisfied with the ruling. The same government, the same leadership. Now your deputy says he was satisfied because they knew that they were going to get
maybe this is an evidence to suggest that they are a listening government. When the people begin to criticize them,
when their own chairman to me of Akonta Mining, the CEO of Akonta Mining, their own party chairman to me was mining at the town of Nimrim Forest.
According to the lands minister,
the lands minister wrote to him that he should stop mining because what he's doing is illegal activity.
The president
came out and cleared him. And cleared him that Chairman Root is not engaging in any
the president has more information than the minister.
Yes, so you could see these people are not ready to fight Galamsey because if they tell us that they are fighting
even
Galamsey,
with the prosecution of Aisha One, you're not.
Ghanaians have been prosecuted for about 20. Some Ghanaians have been given 25 years and above.
Wouldn't you say this is the first time we are having a high-profile person involved in Galamsey who has had a conviction?
You know why they are giving Aisha One 4 years and 6 months? Because they know that they themselves, in the initial stage, they deported Aisha One. They didn't prosecute him when Ghanaians was calling for prosecution. Now this same lady is in the country doing illegal activities and then destroying lives. So since the person has been arrested, all what they can do is to give the person a minimum sentence and prosecute Ghanaian citizens who didn't go to the forest or who didn't go to the mining site to mine on their own, but they were even instructed by these kingpins. They have been given 25 years and above. And then we get an MPP party telling us that they are solving galamsey. Where are the 50 missing excavators? What have they done about Professor Frimpong?
550.
500 missing excavators. What have they done about Professor Frimpong Boateng's report? Nothing.
They have dismissed. They say it's on hearsay.
Nothing. So you've given a role to a home minister, and then during his ministerial activity, he has given you a report 2 years down the line. You didn't tell Ghanaians that you had this report on your table. Now that the minister came out himself to tell Ghanaians that he has given you this report 2 years, even this report was even leaked by the likes of Kevin Taylor and co. And then the minister came out that yes, it's true. What Kevin Taylor is saying is true because I gave the report to the president 2 years before now. But till now, they have not acted on it.
Okay.
You're giving a duty to an official, public official, and then he has given you this information. What is the duty of the Attorney General? One of his duties is to investigate.
I'll come back to you, but let me go to your friend. You've heard him. He said, even though yes, you've gotten a conviction, but he's still not convinced. He thinks that you could have done better. Let me hear you.
Ava, Ashawan's conviction. There are three arms of government. And when you understand democracy, you understand that there are three separate entities altogether. We have the executive, we have the legislative, and we have the judiciary. The executive takes their decision. They are the spending officers, okay? The legislature acts on the legislative laws and takes the monitoring and supervision of the executives. Then the judiciary is the law enforcing unit of our constitution. So they will make sure that the laws of the land are being applied to the letter in protection of the individual. Okay. So when the judiciary takes a decision and we mix it up with the executive, okay, then it means you don't want to tell Ghanaians the truth. There are times that the executive have gone to court, even with individual, and they have failed to make a headway. Okay? Recently, the special prosecutor had to lose a case in court, a court that is government is in power. Okay? That tells you the independence of the judiciary. Now, in dealing with Aisha One, the judge in his judgment wrote that the case in question started in 2015 and 2018. Okay? And since the law, the amended law, came into effect in 2019, constitutionally, it was impossible for him to apply the amended one because the Constitution of the Republic states categorically that create that laws will take retrospective effect from the day it was amended or it was assented by the president. So you cannot apply the laws to somebody whose offenses might have been committed before
the promulgation or yes.
So in the sense of the judge, we could even see clearly from his statement that he was not even satisfied with the number of years that he was given to Ashawan. Okay? But in court, we discuss the law, not the emotion.
If that is the case, on what basis is the Attorney General seeking?
Attorney General can go, he is not satisfied. Just as I told you, even in the sense of the judge, you could clearly see that the judge...
Or he's going for the maximum 5. Because the reason given for the 4 is because she has already spent a year or so.
Let the Attorney General go. And to be fair, let's give Aisha One also the opportunity to defend herself, the reason why he doesn't have to spend the maximum. Okay? I've been to court on several occasions, and there are several things that goes into judgment, okay, when a judge is taking a decision. Aisha One, in the first place, we are discussing the issue as if Aisha One was a criminal. She was doing business. It was a normal business.
The court ruling suggests to you that she engaged in criminal activities.
Let me go on. Just that his business was not in lines, it was not in consonance with the laws of the nation.
And that's criminal activity. That's what
was
criminality
illegal.
means. I know. What is the meaning of criminal?
No. There's difference between in court.
Criminal means you've engaged in a crime.
No.
What is a crime? A crime is something against the laws of our nation.
No.
Okay, explain to me.
In court, there's so much differences in being prosecuted for criminality and being prosecuted on illegality.
What is the difference between illegality and crime?
We can have money to be shared. me and you, we can have money to be shared. Just as we are sitting here, maybe we have 20 cedis to be shared. Okay? Then you're giving me my 10 cedis. Okay? I've also given you a 10 cedis. Then I tell you, okay, mine was to have been put in my account because I told you to put it in my account. Okay? I can go to court that once mine has been lost here, it is because you didn't put it in my account that you gave it to me personally. That is, I lost my. But you have not done any criminal thing. But the point is, you did not follow the right procedure, the agreed means through which my money was to be paid.
Okay.
Or another thing is, maybe you are to give money to my brother here. Okay, you are to pay money to him. You meet him at
These standards are set by what? The law?
That is why I said in
or
court.
by agreement?
That is why I'm saying.
Because for the state to prosecute someone, the person might have gone foul against the law.
Foul against the law will not necessarily mean being criminal.
Then it means what?
There are so many ways you can.
Okay.
Can I come in?
Yes.
Aisha, one issue, an issue against the state is an issue of criminality. That's one thing we should know. As a student of law, when we say someone has committed a crime, means that first of all, the act is prohibited by law. 2, the punishment of that act is
clearly
stipulated in a written law. So Aisha 1 was prosecuted because she has engaged in criminality, and so now we can confidently say that Aisha 1 is a criminal.
She has then been convicted.
Thank you. But what I'm saying is, she was prosecuted on 4 counts. She was prosecuted. She was sentenced on 4 counts. The first was she was repatriated, and she came back without the consent of the nation. That was the first count. The second was employing people to work whilst having no legal documents.
Which is criminal.
I don't know. He is a law student, so if he says that's a criminal, I will accept it.
Okay.
But what I mean is, it's not as criminal as we are.
It's not as serious.
Yeah,
so you are judging the seriousness of the crime.
Let me come. When I was driving out, she was doing a business.
Okay.
It's not
like the whole aspect of her business was illegal.
She was doing an illegal business.
Okay.
And the state, and that's why I said when we go to court, there are so many things that are taken into consideration when we want to sentence somebody.
Okay.
And Aisha, in her prayer, accepted being guilty. Okay.
So that could be the reason why they gave
accepted being guilty. Secondly, the lawyers of the woman asked for leniency for the woman because they thought the woman had been in jail for about 2 years now. He's been in custody for about 2 years now. Okay, so all those things could be taken into consideration. Yeah, it could be, not should be. I cannot direct the court to do this, but it could be taken into consideration that once the woman has been in, and then you are a student of the law, you know when you will sit before a case and these things happen, you can take into consideration that the person I'm going to punish has already been punished for this number of years. I've had the opportunity of going to the Insawan prisons last Christmas. And I met the lady. I went to the female prisons, and I met the lady. I saw, and deep remorse from somebody who has been accused of doing something. When she is showing deep remorse for something he did, that is also enough for the judge to be lenient when passing judgment. So, in all of that, the most important thing is, first and foremost, what we want to tell the NDC is that Aisha 1 did not come to Ghana in 2017. Aisha 1 was in Ghana way back in 2014.
Okay.
The Galamsey issue that he was talking about did not start in 2017. In fact, the situation was so darling, it was so worse that we put it in our manifesto in 2016 that when we come to power in 2017, we will fight it. If it was not there, we wouldn't have started fighting it in 2017. So the NDC is pretending Galamsey started in 2017 under our administration. Okay. They were the architects of the Galamsey.
In other words, they
engineered everything.
So they were the ones engaging.
And if indeed they had any political will to have fought the Galamsey,
they would have arrested some
people. They would have done it long before we came into office.
Okay.
And one thing is, this Galamsey issue that we are talking about.
Finishing for us. Yes.
Yeah, this Galamsey issue that he's talking about. They formed the youth in Galamsey when we were getting into the 20s.
Youth in Galamsey?
Yes.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, the president.
Youth in Galamsey?
Youth in Galamsey to the NY.
okay.
YEA.
In Galamsey?
Yes, in 2016.
I see. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
the YEA.
But that would be against the law for young people to go into Galamsey. Or
yes,
they
that is why during the campaign, he went to the press and told them that when he comes back to power, he is going to allow them to go
that
back
was
to what they were doing.
Deputy National Communication.
And it was the NDC.
Okay.
It was the NDC. Why is it that once the MPP president speaks, it is the MPP
No,
that has spoken?
I was just saying that was I was putting.
John
a face
Mama
to what
said
he
it.
Okay.
John Mama said it. He said that he was going to free everybody who has been in prison because of Galamsey.
Yes, he said that.
He said
I
it.
recall.
Yeah, and that includes Aisha one. If he's insisting on it today.
Okay. Mr. Cosby, he said you guys don't have the moral justification. He has accurately cited what our former president said, that some Galamsey individuals will be freed if he wins, and what at the time your deputy communication officer said, that they will allow people to engage in Galamsey, and he said the thing didn't start in 2017. You couldn't arrest anybody, so why are you now seeking to criticize them for prosecuting Ashawan rather?
With the MPP, from my brother from the MPP statement, it has indicated clearly that the MPP as a political party and as a government are not ready to solve the issue of illegal mining or Galamsey in this country. You know why? Because from his own statement, he seems to be defending Aisha One. That Aisha One is not
her activity is not that criminal. She has fallen foul against.
Regardless of whatever activity you are doing, and in one way or the other, you find yourself within criminality in the same activity, and you are being prosecuted, you are a criminal. So they should know that.
But the core of his argument is that you, the NDC, you don't have any reason to criticize because you guys couldn't do anything.
So Ghanaians can attest to the fact that during the era of His Excellency John Evans Atta-Mills and even during the era of President John Dramani Mahama, they can check their river bodies and see whether their river bodies was devastated. As at that time, to extend that when you open your pipe, it comes like a Milo, or during the MPP and the Kufuor and his Baumia's time, how devastated their water bodies have been.
So how
Ghanaians can do that comparative analysis, and
you will come under the Inus Husseini in 2014 had cause to really complain about the level of illegal mining in our country, to the extent that he said that government was going to employ the use of, I don't know whether it's camera or something, to fish out people who engage in Galamsey.
Put it in our manifesto?
So
what was that good for you?
So just that you guys couldn't arrest anybody.
Listen, if you're talking about resolving an issue of Galamsey, it is never about one, arresting someone, and two, allowing Chamawuntumi to mine illegally.
Why are you mentioning?
It is never about.
Cosby, why are you
it's never about arresting
Aisha
Aisha One and giving her 4 years, 6 months in jail, and then allowing your party members, your party women's organizer, Kejemfua Enko, to mine illegally.
No, but her equipment were destroyed.
It is never about mining illegally and saying the party Yesika, and to wait, the party needs money, and so you want to mine illegally and destroy our forest. It is never about that. It's never about your party cronies and your MMDCs and your DCs mining illegally, using Galamsey boys to mine illegally to destroy our water bodies. You are in power. What did you tell Ghanaians? You use sweet words to convince Ghanaians that when you come to power, you will solve the issue of Galamsey. Ghanaians have realized that since the NDC left power and you people came to power, their water bodies have destroyed, have turned Milo and have turned brown to an extent that they can't even use it for their commercial activities. And you are sitting here telling us that the NDC couldn't solve Galamsey, so you are solving Galamsey. Are you solving Galamsey?
Yes.
Let me take one each, because we have 2 minutes to wrap up.
And so
your 1 minute starts now,
yes.
so that he
okay. So so to land on this within this 1 minute.
But before you land, someone has sent me a message. He said that, I should read it to you. He said the NDC representative Cosby must get his facts before he comes there to disrespect your die-hard listeners. That is from Chairman Inusa. He is an MPP member. He said the NDC arrested Aisha One 4 times. And all of those occasions, she threatened the NDC high-ranking official with sex tapes. And she was released on all those occasions. The NDC has no clear-cut policy on how to deal with galamsey in Ghana, except to say that they will be allowed to do the galamsey only if they will vote for Mahama and the NDC. In a minute,
he couldn't give any facts or let's say anything to how do you call it, to buttress his point or to say that what I'm saying is without facts. So for him, we should just put his statement aside, because they, the MPP, within their campaign, Akufo-Addo's time, I have even the tape, I can forward it to you. Akufo-Addo campaigned and then told the people of Obuasi that NDC for say me ba say galamsey echina. To wait, NDC are saying that when I come to power, I'm coming to collapse the business of galamsey. When I come to power, I will never collapse the business of galamsey today or tomorrow. That means was Akufo-Addo promising the people that he's going to allow them to do illegal mining? President Mahama told the good people of Ghana that when I come in resolving the issue of galamsey, first of all, as a president, I have the right to give pardon. So I'll pardon the people who have been arrested, our citizens who have been arrested for galamsey, and two, bring out reforms and regularize this issue and bring out reforms and bring experts on board so that whatever mining that we will do, which is illegal, it will not destroy our water bodies. So within this same MPP, they have destroyed our water bodies and they are engaging in galamsey. Their party, they are engaging in galamsey. And then he's here telling us that he's solving galamsey. These people are like
in a minute.
Ava, the issue about the fight of galamsey did not start in 2017. In 2010, about 500 excavators were burnt by a task force that was set up by Professor Mills and John Mahama, that was led by Kokoni Doho. Okay? How come John Mahama became the president in 2013? And galamsey got worse under his watch. And now he's coming back. Galamsey was so daring, it was so bad that we put it in our manifesto, that when we come, we will fight it. It was in our 2016 manifesto, not when we came to government. Now the NDC is pretending galamsey was not there. And John Mahama is sitting there, telling Ghanaians that when he comes back to office, which office? Again. Which office again?
Which office is available?
Which office again? You were there. You were there. The situation was so bad, super bad, that an opposition put it in his manifesto that when I come, out of that, about 1.5 million Ghanaians decided to vote against you. The worst we have suffered ever by any certain president. Okay?
It's not 1.5
then
million
you sit
Ghanaians.
back. At first you said now you've collected your mistakes and you are coming back. Now you are saying that you've never made any mistake. You were a king when you were president. So Ghanaians should vote for you.
Okay,
what we are telling you is that the galamsey menace, it is only Akufo-Addo who have decided
and have
to
you
fight
solved
it.
it?
And yes, we are solving it. But we are having challenges because the very people who are doing that are claiming that it is the opposite. Let me tell you, when they said we have to shoot and kill, or arrest anybody who was doing galamsey, then we started arresting everybody, seizing the excavators and these things. The NDC came out to say that, Alpha, you were in this town, that they are arresting our people and leaving theirs.
It's a lie.
You have to go in here.
Let's wrap up because of time. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. It's been a very interesting conversation so far. That will be all for today. You heard there from the MDC representative and MPP representative. We heard from Mr. Ajiman Richard, who is a member of the MPP's communication team in the region. He was here with Mr. Derek Cosby. He's also a member of the communications team for the NDC here in the Ashanti region. Before we go, let me talk to you about Wisdom Villa. Are you ready to discover the perfect place where tranquility meets sophistication? Then you have to go to Wisdom Villa. Step outside onto your own private balcony where breathtaking views and fresh air will soothe your soul. So whether you are sharing a meal with loved ones or winding in your spacious outdoor balcony, Wisdom Villa's beautiful landscaping offers the perfect backdrop to make lasting memories. Locate Wisdom Villa at Ahunjo Kumasi on the INMC Street. Wisdom Villa, where tranquility and sophistication come together to create your perfect living experience. Wisdom Villa, my wisdom, my all. That's our show for now. It was produced by David. You heard from Abna this morning. You heard from Rahim and Tusu. My name has been Alpha Alio. For now, that's our show. Thank you very much for the privilege of your company. You want to have a very good morning.
Keep quiet, keep quiet.
A moment of silence for my baby.
Don't talk, let me talk.